Hello and welcome to Low Budget Gaming and welcome to another first Descendant video. So an updated Ultimate Lepic mobbing build. So with the recent update, we got buffs to Sharon and Keelan, but Lepic also got some interesting buffs. His base crit rate went up from 15% to 20%, making it much easier to max out his crit rate. And also with the Nerve Infiltration Transcendent module, we got additional damage against Colossus as well as Commanders. And also the thrown grenades can now be towed with his third ability. So very simple setup here for mobbing, and it's pretty good even in the Legion lab. I say even in the Legion lab because the Legion lab has the faction that is the fire type, so they're not weak to fire, they're actually the opposite. But even then Lepic does pretty well over there. So yeah, so basically this is your build. We are using the Nerve Infiltration Transcendent module. We're using the crit modules, so front lines, emergency measures, concentration. You can use insight. I'm using HP over here instead because I have a lot of crit rate on the ancestors module. We're using one range mod because this is enough to max out the range. Nimble fingers MP conversion for the cooldown. Focus on fire. We are not using focus on tech because again very high modifier, so we don't really need that. Plus I have cooldown on the ancestors. I'm also using maximize conservation so that we can use our fourth regularly and we don't run out of MP. Now for the trigger module, we are using power beyond. For the ancestors module, I have a very high crit rate on this one. I have cooldown and duration. All these are pretty good. You can also go with crit damage, firepower. Duration is very handy, like I said. Cooldown will also be very useful, but crit rate and crit damage are like the most important thing. Skill cost is also something you can use. Now the good news is Lepic has a very high synchronization value, 1.2. So the crit rate and the rolls that you get here are also very high. So let me just show you because I have a lot of ancestors modules for Lepic. So you can see here this one has 131.4% crit rate, and this is only blue. This is 256. This is 183, 218. 145, 220, and 179, and this one has 153, and it's only a blue. So you will get very high numbers on Lepic. It's a bit weird because some people you can't get more than like 120 or something, and Lepic here is getting 250% crit rate. Anyway, so with this setup, what we have is 89% crit rate. I have 90% cooldown. And we have 390 MP and so on, 97% fire rate. Now, if you were to put the insight, skill insight, you will get the 100% here. But as you can see, we are already at 89%. So instead of using insight, you can use another range mod. No, sorry, not range. Duration, you can use duration, you can use HP. Or you can even use another cost reduction mod just to make your life even more comfortable. I think using HP is better because this way you will be very tanky. You can play in a public setup as well or solo, and he will be very comfortable. Not the fastest because like I said, we have the Legion of Darkness who are also the fire type, so it'll take a little longer, but very comfortable, very tanky, very powerful. So yeah, so this is the build here. Once again, for the ancestors module, you want crit rate, crit damage, firepower, cooldown, skill cost. Any of those things will be handy. Crit rate is probably the most important. On the outside, we are using the Firebrand set. So we have, I'll just slowly go over this because people keep asking the roles on the external components. So I'll just slowly go over here so you can see. Basically the usual MP related things. Defense and MP recovery on this one. Shield and shield recovery on this one. For the reactor, we are using the burning mechanics reactor, fire and tech type, and we want cooldown and crit damage on the two options. For the Arche tuning, I've taken a couple of HP nodes here. If you're using the HP module, you don't need this. You can skip these. If you are not using that, you can take these if you're not using the increased HP. So we're taking the skill here, we're taking the skill cost here, we're taking the range, we're taking the skill nodes, MP, cooldown, the 3 crit damage, and then over here we are taking the 2 MP, the enhanced one, And then more skill power and fire chain catalyst is the mutant cell. For the inversion reinforcement, I'm taking focus boost. So whenever you defeat a bunch of enemies, 5 enemies, you'll reduce your skill cost further. Selective neurostimulation, which this will give you MP every 45 seconds, and then deploy hardened shell to reduce the incoming damage. For the weapon, you don't really need anything as such, but Secret Garden is handy because skill 1 and skill 4 are tech type, so you will get a little bit of help there. It's mostly as a stat stick here, so you can put sprint cores over here. On the inside, you want to put fire rate and sharp precision shot. These two are important for Lepic's 4th skill. So you'll be able to shoot faster and things like that. Now for the, I've covered everything. For the fellow, you can go with either the Husky for MP, or you can go with the Helios Sheepdog for the HP, depending on whether you're using the increased HP or not, and how comfortable you find yourself. For the external components, another tip is if you find yourself running out of MP, and let's say you're not using the skill cost reduction module. So as you can see, I'm using the maximized conservation. Let's say you don't have that much crit rate and you are not using that. What you could do is you could use the 4 pieces of the Hunter set. So this will also help you with the MP management. So that is basically it. A quick look at how to use him. Basically, our 4th skill, we are going to rely on this because we have low cooldown here, 90%. And the 4th skill has a very long animation. So make sure to roll. So press the 4th skill Z and then roll to cancel the animation. Press the 2nd so that you get the extra crit damage and the additional damage against the Colossus and the Commander and things like that. And basically you can tow them. So let's tow them here, roll, 2nd skill, and just destroy all of them. Now when your 4th skill is on cooldown, let's say, you can do the same thing with the 1st skill. So use the tow ability, use the 2nd ability, and then throw grenades, and this will also do damage. There's something called severe burn from your skills. So if you see over here, deals additional damage per stack of severe burn. So overload, against overclock and overload. The overload on the right inflicts severe burn on enemies damaged by grenade throw or overkill. So skill 1 and 4, it'll do more damage. So so that is how we are going to use him. Very simple, very straightforward, skill-based build. You don't need to use the gun. And that is basically how to use Ultimate Lepic. I'll leave you with the footage of the Legion Lab dungeon. Now keep in mind the Legion Lab has 3 or 4 variations, so it'll depend on which version you get, and sometimes you will be faster, sometimes you'll be a bit slower. But Lepic is very comfortable here. I think I'll show you the clip where I was using the HP module. Anyway, that's it. Thank you for watching. I'll leave you with the footage and see you next time.
Try running from this. trouble.